Today we're going to talk about country blues finger picking. I'm going to use the song Shake That Thing by the great Mississippi John Hurt to illustrate this style. I'm going to play it for you, and then we'll get into the kind of some exercises to get you ready for this, because this is like, it sounds like three people playing at once when you get it down, because you've got like a moving bass thing, and you got these melodies happening in there as well. So let's take a look at the tune we got. So that was one time through. Let's check that out again. We got. Okay, so a lot going on there. One thing to look at is this, like I said, thumb going back and forth from the big string to the fourth string. Now let's add something to that. Let's add playing the second string with that first bass note, and then just resume that alternating bass thing. Okay, so we have just the bass, and then we try to add the second string open. Okay, now we're going to try to add this 3 on the third string after that bass note with the open second string. Okay, so it's bass note and second string, it's big string and second string, to the 3 of the third string, and then we start doing our alternate bass. Okay, now we're going to try to add, we got the 3 in there. Now we're going to try to hit the open second string as we hit that D bass note. So it's, and then bass, bass. So these are all the things that are going to get you ready to be able to play this tune. And once you get this kind of style down, you can play a lot of his tunes. You can play a lot of country blues, finger picking stuff, probably a lot better than you could before, because this has got some great techniques and stuff in it. So we got. Okay, now we're going to look at 1 and 3 down here in the bottom. So I've got a 3 on the second string here. I got my middle finger up here on the bass. I'm going to hit the big one and the little one, and then the second string, and then I'm going to pull this one out of here and hit the D string and the E string at the same time. So it's, and then our bass, bass. Okay, here's another one for you. So this one I'm hitting the third string, 4th fret with the bass note, open, and then 2 on the D string, and then my bass, bass. Okay, now I'm gonna hit the 3. I'm gonna have this 3 in place on the second string, but I'm gonna go big one and little one, 3 and 1, to the D string with the 1. So, and then I'm gonna hit the 3 and the 3, and then the open E with the D. So it's. That's another good one to practice to get you ready for this. Now the last thing we're going to look at as far as the exercises is, so I have big 3, then little 3, and then D and G strings, and then I hit the outside ones at the same time. So it's big, little, D, G, and then both of the outsides. Okay, so first exercise again was just that boom chuck. Then we add the second string to it. Then we add the 3 on the G string after those first 2 notes. Okay, then we're going to add the D bass note with the open B string after these first 2 notes. So that's a chord there. Bass, bass. Okay, then we have the 1 and the 3 on the bottom. We go to the open, open, D and E. And then we have the 3 and the 4, open G to the 2 of the D. Okay, now we have the 3 and the 1, and then the D with that 1, and then the 3 and 3 to the open D and E. So then we have the little 3. So 3, 3, open, open, chord. Okay, so let's get into the song. So our first thing is, so we do that twice. We're gonna have the big string and the second string going into that 3 of the G string, then the open D and B to the 3 of the second string. So then we're gonna go bass, and we can actually kind of hit these 2 middle strings. So we do that twice, then we have, so that started the same. Now we're gonna keep that 3 there and go bass, high, and then D string to B string on that 3. So it's, now we're gonna go, so we have 3 and 1 to the 3 of the second, and then D and E open, back to that 3, and then bass, open second string, open D string to the 3 there. So this is a tricky one. And then we have one of those. So that was a 3 and a 4 to the open G, 2 on the D, and then bass, and then G, D is what we're gonna do there. Okay, so the previous measure. Okay, now this next one we have the 2 on the 5th string. 2 and then G string to D string. And that was big 1, second string open, D string open, to that 3 again for another one of these. Now this one is gonna go just 3 and open. Now we're gonna be like on our turnaround, so let's look at what we had so far. Okay, now we have that thing. So that was one of our exercises. We got the outside ones, 3 and 1, and then the D string with that 1, and then the 3s to the opens on the D and E. Then we have 3 and 3 on the outsides. And this one was D and E to that 3 of the second string. So now this one is 3 on the big one, 3 on the third, and then the D and B strings making a chord coming back to that 3. Okay, it's a little dissonant there. So this whole measure with the 3s was, and then we have, so that's gonna be big 1, little 1, D to G, chord of the outside notes. So chord, G string, 2 on the D finishes that measure. And then we have 3s again. This last measure is kind of easy. It's the outsides, then that little chord in the middle of the opens, to the little 3, big 3, chord again. So okay, so the whole thing we got. Pretty wicked stuff, right? So here we go, a little faster. babe, a diamond ring. I come back home, she's a shaking that thing. Won't you shake that thing? Why don't you shake that thing? I'm getting sick and tired of telling you to shake that thing. All right, Mississippi John Hurt. Hope you all dug that. Got a lot more of these on the way. Talk to you soon.